And there have been far too many of these at far too many schools. And so we are grateful for the courage and the heroism of the first responders. And we are hopeful that all of the students or individuals who may have been injured will come through and survive. We're here today because of the Biden border crisis that continues to rage on the southern border.
All right, so we dropped in there to hear a little bit of Texas Senator Ted Cruz.
In his own state of Texas, when yet more children were the targets of yet another mass shooting, Ted Cruz managed to offer just a few seconds of very, very somber tone, but not before falling over himself to attack Joe Biden for what else but the crisis on the border. The speed at which he pivoted here from the shooting to the border is exactly how you quantify just how much Ted Cruz cares about the children of his own state. Now, the statement, where Ted Cruz is barely able to contain the degree to which he could not be bothered to give a shit about anything other than his usual partisan hackery, comes in the aftermath of a shooting at Timberview High School, where reporting suggests that 4 people were injured in an active shooter situation. And what's especially telling is that Ted Cruz says outright that he hopes the students and individuals who are injured are able to survive, and yet doesn't propose anything that would actually help them survive, nor anyone who will be involved in subsequent shootings survive. Why? Because Ted Cruz's priority isn't actually fixing anything. Hell, Ted Cruz's priority is barely even acknowledging anything is wrong beyond spending all of 9 seconds on camera and pretending to be sad. That's why he doesn't support background checks or weapons bans or any gun reforms whatsoever. In other words, he's very sorry that this happened, but not willing to lift a finger to ensure that it doesn't happen again. And by the way, Ted Cruz isn't the only Texas Republican at fault here. The Republican-led legislature passed a bill allowing Texans to carry handguns without a license or training starting September 1st. And that was signed into law by Texas Governor Greg Abbott, because in the wake of so many mass shootings in this country, the answer, clearly, is exponentially more guns, only now without any safety measures to ensure that those buying them are even moderately capable of using them. I was just thinking that buying a gun should be as easy as buying toothpaste. And we're seeing similar constitutional carry laws getting passed across the country in Republican-led states. These legislators are seeing record numbers of shootings and gun deaths, and then thinking to themselves, you know what would help here? More guns. It's like a building is burning down and the mayor walking over and suggesting, hey, have we considered more fire? And finally, my last point is that it doesn't have to be this way. We have a majority in the House and a majority in the Senate. And if Democrats wanted to pass federal gun reforms, they could. But because just a couple of centrists in the Democratic Party believe that it's more important to defend the filibuster, an arcane Senate procedural tool that supposedly fosters bipartisanship that has thus far been non-existent, well, now we have to just sit back and pretend that there's nothing we can do about it. Like, when you're more focused on protecting a made-up rule than actual children from being shot up in schools, then you might have lost the plot in terms of what it means to be an elected official. These people aren't elected to protect Senate procedural tools, they're elected to protect the people that they serve. So you can have one or the other, but clearly not both. So the simple fact is that until and unless something is done, then these shootings will continue to remain a part of our daily lives. And people like Ted Cruz will get up and cry a few obligatory crocodile tears before gleefully pivoting to scenarios that he views as more politically convenient, because that's what this is all about. It's not to make anyone's lives better or safer, it's to win whatever he sees as the most potent culture war of the moment. Because remember, Ted Cruz isn't in this for anyone other than Ted Cruz. To see more videos like this, click the subscribe button right here on this screen. And if you want to support my work, subscribe to my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. I cover the most important stories each week, and my guest is always one of the top political figures, including Vice President Kamala Harris, Jen Psaki, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, Nancy Pelosi, Katie Porter, Cory Booker, and so many more. The podcast link is also right here on this screen, so give it a listen and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.